Morning. I'll call the Kaneohe County Health and Human Services Committee to order. Welcome, everyone. We have a number of contracts and proclamations to deal with today, and then we're going to get an update from Community Corrections. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Jolene is AWOL, so Jenny is going to present on an Safe Avenues contract addendum. Welcome, Jenny.
Yes, good morning. Jenny Lippert, Health and Human Services Director. So,
Excuse me one second. I should probably do the minutes.
That's what I was wondering. I will move the minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Anderson seconds. Any discussion on the minutes from the last meeting? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Then we also have bills to pay.
I so move that we move on the approval of the bills.
Commissioner Berg moves on the bills. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Nissen seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Now, thank you sorry for the interruption.
all right, so again, Jenny Lippert, Health and Human Services Director. I am here to present a contract addendum for our Safe Avenues contract. So we contract with Safe Avenues to provide visitation for our child protection children. And we currently have a contract with them for $49,295. And we were grateful enough to receive a grant through the Department of Human Services to increase services to clients who have some type of substance abuse or chemical dependency issues. And so we are looking to extend and add on to our Harmony Visitation contract and looking to increase the amount of visitation slots that we have with this current provider. So today before you, I am requesting that we look at an additional $13,000 to add to this contract, which would give us an additional 104 visitation slots. Again, this, the $13,000 is coming from a grant that we received through the Department of Human Services.
Terrific.
And you're looking for action on that today to accept that?
Exactly, please.
Could I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Why don't we do the motion and then we'll
Okay,
have
all right,
discussion.
yep, that's fine.
Also move
So
that we
Commissioner Berg
accept the grant.
moves to
Move
accept the
forward.
grant. Commissioner Nissen seconds. No,
Okay.
Commissioner Anderson.
Yeah, so explain to me, because I'm still kind of new, there's 104 additional visitation slots. Is that like appointments, sort of? Or?
Yes. Yep. So we, again, have Harmony Visitation Center, which is a great resource for our staff, particularly, and for the children and families that we serve. And so it's per slot. So we already have, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how many slots we get with our original contract, but we always every year supersede the amount of slots that we have in our original contract. And that's why we're looking at, again, we're seeing an increase in the number of child protection reports and the number of visitations that we're having to take on. And so that's where it would be, yes, 104 slots.
Okay, and
per
are these
appointment.
court-ordered type of?
They would be, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. And then for those who may be watching, and as a reminder to all of us, what are the circumstances that may lead up to those court-ordered visitations?
Yes, so parents who, are, again, this is specific to drug-related instances. So this would be somebody who, again, we had gotten an intake report through the child protection system, and the parents are not right now successfully able to have the child. Maybe they're in foster care. However, the rights have not been totally terminated. So the parents and the child go to a neutral location to have these visits to assure that the children are safe, the parents are okay to parent them. That's kind of the general concept of the visitation center.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, could I?
Yes, go ahead.
Another one. Where is this located? Is it in Wilmer or is it?
Yes,
somewhere else?
yep, so it's, if you know where like Roosevelt School is on the south side of town, southwest side of
Okay.
town, yep.
All right, thank you.
All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Corinne, you are up next.
All right, thank you. Good morning, gentlemen and others. And what I have today is I have two proclamations. The first one up is our Mental Health Month. May is our Mental Health Month, and so we are presenting these proclamations today so that we are prepared for May. And as you all know, we all have mental health, and it is no different than us having physical health. And as in physical health, our mental health can be really good, and it can be really bad. And so part of what our proclamation is about is to be able to acknowledge that mental health is important, and mental health is, we need to be having conversations about mental health and bringing awareness to mental health. So I will read through the proclamation. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all people experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives, and whereas prevention is an effective way to reduce the burden of mental health conditions, and whereas there is a strong research that companionship, humor, spirituality, religion, recreation, social connections, and work-life balance can help people to protect their health and well-being, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation, and whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health and other chronic health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizens share the burden of mental health problems and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Therefore, George Corkyberg, Chairman of the Kansas County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim May 2022 as Mental Health Month in Kansas County. As Board of the Commissioners Chair, Commissioner Berg also call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in Kansas County to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services to all people with mental health conditions.
Thank you very much. So we would be asking for a motion to accept this proclamation and endorse this proclamation.
I'll move that we adopt, I think it's Proclamation 2022-1.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Nissen seconds.
Almost didn't get that out.
I like that you, when you started out, you said we all have mental health. Maybe it's not all good for everybody all the time, but that's a good thing to remember, is that just like our regular health, we all have mental health.
We all have mental health as well.
Yeah, thank you. Any comments or questions for Corinne?
It's just exciting to hear this proclamation. Like you said, every year has been, and probably on this day, most of the counties in the state of Minnesota are voting on a very similar thing. So it's great, and it's a good message to get out there.
Yep, thank you. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Corinne. You also have a proclamation for childcare.
Yes. May 6th of 2022 is Child Care Provider Appreciation Day. And so what this proclamation is about is to call attention to that, and that an opportunity for us to truly appreciate the work that our child care providers do on a day-to-day basis. As we've talked about before here over the last couple of years, the COVID has created huge challenges for our daycare providers and for the families that they take care of. And so this appreciation is, again, quite needed and necessary for us to be able to call that out and be able to show that appreciation to them as well. And good news along the line is that we do have 6 new applications for daycare providers. So Jill is in the process of looking at licensing them up, and hopefully they'll be able to follow through on that. As you guys are aware, we have had quite a decrease in child care providers in the last few years, and so to be able to have some new applications is good news, and news that we also need to be able to call out and have an appreciation for as well. So the proclamation, whereas our future depends on the quality of early childhood experiences provided to young children today, and a high-quality early childhood services represents a valuable commitment to our children's future. And whereas Kansas County child care providers are serving children so family members may accept or maintain employment. Whereas the contribution of child care providers to our children's future is worthy of highest respect. And whereas by calling attention to the importance of high-quality child care services for all children and families in Kansas County, we hope to improve the availability of such services. And whereas Kansas County encouraged parents to take May 6, 2022, to show their child care providers how much they appreciate them. Now, therefore, Kansas County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim May 6, 2022 as Child Care Appreciation Day and urge all citizens to join in the acknowledging Kansas County's child care providers for their invaluable contributions made to children and families in Kansas County.
Thank you. We also would look to adopt this.
I will move that we adopt that
Commissioner Nissen
proclamation
moves.
2022-02.
I'll second.
Commissioner Berg seconds. Any comments or questions? I would just say it's access to childcare does not have socioeconomic barriers. It affects everybody. And I think along with housing, we've beat that drum pretty well the last few years, and we're starting to see the new applications are a good sign. We're seeing some apartments and other things improving in the housing area. We got a ways to go, but we're making progress, so thank you. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Corinne.
Thank you.
Nice job, Corinne. Thanks.
Another proclamation regarding foster care. Ms. Libert's going to present on that one. Thank you.
Yes, so I am here this morning to go over Proclamation 2021-03 regarding Foster Care Month. So May of 2022 historically has always been Foster Care Appreciation Month. And so I have the proclamation I will read for you right now. Whereas the family serving as the primary source of love, identity, self-esteem, and support is the very foundation of our communities and our state. And whereas in Kansas County, there are currently 145 children and youth in foster care being provided with a safe, secure, and stable home, along with the compassion and nurture of a foster family. And whereas in Kansas County has many dedicated traditional and relative foster families who give generously of themselves to provide nurturing, safe, guidance, hope, and love for children and families in need. And whereas foster, kinship, and adoptive families who open their homes and hearts to support children whose families are in crisis play a vital role in helping children and families heal and reconnect, thereby launching young people into successful adulthood. And whereas there are numerous individuals, public and private organizations who work to increase public awareness of the needs of children in and leaving foster care, as well as the enduring and valuable contribution of foster parents. Therefore, the Kansas County Board does hereby proclaim May 2022 as Foster Care Month in Kansas County and urge all citizens to volunteer their talents and energies on behalf of children in foster care, foster parents, and the child welfare professional staff working with them during this month and throughout the year.
Thank you. I would look to adopt.
I will make a motion that we adopt that proclamation,
Commissioner Nissen
2020.
moves.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Anderson seconds. Any comments?
I just noticed, I think the numbering is wrong. 2021, shouldn't that be 2022-03?
Oh, on the top.
On my copy, anyway.
Sure. Yep. We will make that adjustment.
Good catch.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. So you have 145 children that are in foster care. Is there a need for more? I mean, are there more that are like waiting for foster care, or I'm just curious?
Yes, and actually, I'm going to introduce, after this proclamation, I'm going to introduce our staff member who's our foster care licensor, and she's going to give a little PowerPoint presentation regarding our program, and she will have more details for you.
Okay, and I'd be curious to find out if there's like a limit how many a parent or person could take in as like for foster care.
Yeah, yep, and she probably can address some
Okay,
of those
all right,
specific
thank you.
questions. Yep.
We have a vote, so all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. And you're going to introduce?
I will, yes. Yep. So now I would like to bring forward Constance Nelson. She is our foster care licensor, and she is going to give you a little bit of information regarding our foster care program and the services through foster care that we work with on a daily basis at the agency. So here's Constance.
Welcome, Constance.
Thank you. As Ms. Lippert said, I am Constance Nelson. I am the child foster care licensing worker here in Candy, Ohio County, and would like to share a little bit about our program with you this morning. The foster care program in Candy, Ohio County is really an exercise in collaboration among agency workers, families, and other community resources here in our county. It is widely acknowledged that all children require security, love, acceptance, connectedness, and lifetime families to promote health, growth, and development. Children need stable families and supportive communities, especially during their early years, to form the secure attachments vital to developing positive self-esteem, meaningful relationships, school achievement, and success in the adult world. To best meet children's developmental needs and provide continuity with healthy family relationships, the foster care system has evolved to implement something called concurrent permanency planning. Concurrent rather than sequential permanency planning offers a model that is family-centered, child-focused, and community-based to move children from the uncertainty of temporary care to the security of a permanent family. In other words, in order to make the best plans for children, we simultaneously work on getting them back home safely while we develop a backup plan. Ideally, this backup plan is developing a forever home option with a relative from day one, if possible. Contrary to public belief, social workers cannot remove kids to place them into foster care. Only the authority of a law enforcement hold, court order signed by a judge, or a voluntary placement agreement signed by the child's parents provides this authority. Generally speaking, we license our county homes to be these concurrent options for kids, so they have a family familiar to them to care for them right away and possibly forever if needed. More ideally, these concurrent homes are safe and appropriate family members of our kids in care. Other homes are better suited to have kids on a short-term basis. Because there are rules about who foster families can leave foster youth with, these fully licensed homes are great to provide short-term respite to those longer-term concurrent families. Foster parents are asked to wear many hats. They are required to meet all of the typical needs of raising a child, plus all the extra things that reunification efforts require. This ranges from providing food, clothing, shelter, access to education, to getting kids to doctor's appointments for drug exposure protocols, or supervised visits with their moms and dads, to managing the emotional and behavioral needs that kids from hard places can display. Foster parents do this all while managing their own emotions, following case plans and court orders, maintaining data privacy, ensuring safe sleep practices for infants, and ensuring they get adequate training hours completed, just to name a few requirements. Looking more closely to our county's foster care program, we can see that over half of our placements are due to parents or caregivers' drug use. Neglect, abandonment, and physical abuse are also prevalent. While caretaker drug abuse increased since 2021, instances of placement due to neglect, physical abuse, and domestic violence have decreased thus far into 2022. Candy Ojai County is very fortunate to have nearly 50 licensed foster homes. However, our homes fill up fast. Right now, we have only about 6 non-relative openings for kids that might need foster care placement today or tomorrow and don't have relatives that can take them in. So if you recall, over half of our new foster care placements start with a call from law enforcement informing us they just executed a drug search warrant and found children during that raid. In that circumstance, agency staff drop everything and get to work on concurrent permanency planning. A worker or two gets on scene right away to pick these children up. They're asking moms and dads who might be a good relative option for these kids to stay with, while staff back at the office are also looking into family and non-family options. If there are family options to consider, staff have to do preliminary criminal and social services background checks on all possible household members and verify the home conditions are safe prior to placing in that home. While relative foster home options can work on the licensing process while they have relative kids in their care, non-relative homes interested in providing foster care must be fully licensed before they take in any children. Of the 6 child placement openings I just mentioned, 3 of them are for preschool age children, birth to age 5 or so. The other 3 are for any age. Most of our homes are licensed for elementary aged and pre-teen children, but as you can see, this is also the least representative population of kids in care right now. We need more homes that do not need child care and/or are not affected by the stigma of caring for our teenagers. As far as statistics go, last I wanted to share with you how our foster care program has grown. The number of kids entering care has doubled in 5 short years, as indicated in the orange bar graph. The green shows that Candy Ojai County has done well in placing children with relatives around 60% of the time over the past several years. Minnesota's performance standard requires 35.7% or greater placements to be made with relatives. So Candy Ojai County really is doing well in that regard. And while our need for child foster care placements has grown and the number of kids in care has grown, our personnel has remained the same, me. Some foster parents might disagree, but I think the act of getting licensed is probably easier than the act of providing substitute care for kids from tough places. The licensing process covers requirements that come from federal, state, and local mandates. There are forms and checklists and other guides to help a foster parent complete licensing adequately, but of course, there's no such thing as a parenting or let alone a foster parenting manual that they can utilize. A lot of this learning comes as foster parents dive right in to caring for these kids in need. So, most importantly, our foster parents don't have to go it alone. Aside from the guidance received from agency staff, foster families have access to support and guidance from local resources, financial support in the form of a monthly stipend, scholarships, free school lunch, grants, etc., but also from the formal and informal supports of family, friends, community members, and others. For all this and their tremendous contribution to our community's children, I personally thank each and every member of our foster families here in Candy Ojai County, and thank you for hearing about our program this morning.
Thank you very much. I don't believe there's any action required of this, but it was informative. I imagine COVID has changed this. I don't know if it's something you're going to consider in the future again, but we used to have a little party downstairs with foster families and foster kids. Is that something that might happen again in the future if we can do it safely?
Yes, we are actually planning to, we've outgrown our basement space here in the office building, but we're hoping to do an in-person event, perhaps at Robbins Island, weather permitting, next month.
Oh, thank you. Any questions or comments for Constant?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Anderson.
Again. So training, you mentioned that in here. Do you know how many hours that takes or, like for people that are firefighters, they go, well, we got to have 200 hours of training, just to get started. So if somebody was interested in being a foster parent, how much training is there involved to get them going?
At a minimum, to complete the licensing process, there's at least 6 hours that are required. And that covers topics such as children's mental health, prudent parenting, trauma, and others, just to get them off the ground. And then once they are licensed, they complete annual requirements as well.
Okay, that's not too bad. And then are there any major setbacks that people go, well, I'm not going to do this part, and so they drop out of it, or any kind of bottleneck areas that you see where people need to be aware of before they want to become a foster parent?
I think usually if they've committed to starting the licensing process, they've already kind of gone past that barrier. I think typically it's foster families considering what they're willing to open their homes and hearts to. Foster care is definitely not easy.
Okay, yeah. All right, thank you.
Other comments? And one of the things I know that you strive to do whenever possible is to place those kids with foster families, their own relatives. And when we've gone to the events downstairs, we've seen that, where there's a lot of parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles that are involved in the process. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Oh,
Just one quick question. You mentioned what 54% of the kids are from families using drugs. Is meth a major drug they use? Do you know? To be in place? That's kind of going back to the other person, but
Definitely. Meth is a very prevalent issue in our community.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Nissen.
I know of a family or two that have adopted permanently foster children. Is that, how prevalent is that? Does it happen 25% of the time, 50% of the time? Just curious.
I didn't bring specific statistics for that question, but it varies. It definitely depends on the family's supports that they can access and if they're able to overcome those safety concerns that led to that initial foster care placement to hopefully have that successful reunification.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for
Thank you.
presenting, and we're running just a little bit behind, so fortunately, Tammy talks at about 120 words per minute, with gusts up to about 150, so we'll catch up.
Good morning, Tammy Jo Lieber, Director of Candy Ohio Community Corrections. Unfortunately, I'm not the one presenting today. I'm going to introduce my staff that are going to present on our Community Work Service program this morning. So I'm going to pull up the presentation, hopefully here, and there we go.
Do you have it pulled up?
No?
You have to end the first one first.
Oh. There we go. So if I could introduce, I'll have Brian and Brett come up. They're going to present on our Community Work Service program and how things have been going. And then we also have a client that has joined us this morning to talk about his experience with our Community Work Service program. So I'll turn it over to them.
Good morning.
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 Dwayne, you're about the only new one, I think.
What's that?
You're the new one since we've been here.
Yep.
But for the public who may be watching, we'll ask you to state your name and
Yeah,
who you
I'm
represent.
Brian Nelson, I'm Program Coordinator for Community Service.
I'm Brett Roloff's community supervisor.
So the people are sentenced, they come to us, the judges order community service, we look at it, we make them work. We've had a little bit since COVID hit. It's been a little bit hard, but we went forward. We moved forward with all of our projects, and right now things are looking up. They're took the COVID calls away at the jail, so we're starting to see jail people coming now. We're calling people. We're going to their houses. We're picking them up. We're starting to see numbers now. Accountability is a little bit approaching where they're starting to show up more now. We're getting numbers, and people are still sentenced.
Okay.
They have to do their jobs. And we have a lot of jobs we've done here recently, and I'll let Brett kind of go through here. We'll try to get through it as quick as we can because we've got a lot of things we've done. Starting with Brett's been working on a cabin for Games Lake. Go ahead. Got it.
Yeah, so we provide value services to the community, assets to offenders, teaching them new skills. One of the skills that we had when I was working on the cabin, we had a young gentleman that actually got a job. He was going to go work at building a modular home. So, some of the things that we're teaching him really does come in handy as life skills. I gotta get my glasses. So daily community service, workers on the cruise, inmates we get them from the jail. We go out and we do work in the community and to do services for the community. They're working off fines and fees and that otherwise might not get paid back. So we're providing a service for the community. We did a renovation for the Dare, or it was an old Dare trailer that the sheriff department received. They used it for tactical trailer. So they called up, asked us if we could do anything with us, gave us kind of a blueprint to do, and then we came up with this, and they were happy, and they ended up giving a letter to Tammy. Here's the letter if you'd like to read that.
We've had great working relationships with Sergeant Kent Bauman and Deputy Weifels. We've done a lot of work with them. So they'll call us and they'll say, Brian, can you get this done for us? And we have, and we move forward on projects with them. Very good relationship we have with them.
The next project we did for them was a transport van from the jail. They asked us if we could repurpose it. Came in as just a shell. So we insulated it, kind of manufactured, and came up with putting the seats and benches in. They kind of gave us a rough idea, and they just said, just make it happen, basically, is kind of what they do when they send it to us. And this is the final project, or how it turned out. And they use this for support for the SWAT team to get to places. We talked to them recently, and they said we use it all the time. They're very happy with having that van and access to using it. So next one is the cabin that we started. And that'll be going out to Games Lake, and that'll be the seventh and final cabin that will go out there for the public to use. And I'll just kind of flip through the pictures, and you can see when we get the clients, we get them in there and we try to teach them the skills of, if they're not using it on a job, even to use it at home. And I've had guys that come in and use them years later, and they're like, remember when we made this? I remember years ago I did a project at the girls' group home. We drive by, and they're like, I remember when I built that wall. And I took my girlfriend or my wife or my family by, and they talk about it, and it's quite fun to hear that stuff. And here's some of the guys working on the beds and the table and benches. We decided to kind of make it a little bit more interesting, and we burned the wood and actually dyed the wood so it comes out with a red color. Instead of using stain, I used Kool-Aid and food coloring, but it comes out with a really rich red color. some more pictures of the cabin as it's developing. Okay.
The next one we did Prairie Lakes. Brett and Tyler worked with juveniles actually that were in Prairie Lakes and remodeled the inside of the detention center, Leo's Legacy. It worked really good with working with Prairie Lakes. Right now we're picking up 2 juveniles every day and bringing them out to our building and working. I was with them yesterday, so we're starting to work more with Prairie Lakes and getting kids through the program also. We also have a juvenile program coordinator who works the juveniles. As you can see, it just turned out fabulous. Prairie Lakes was just happy with it. Redid the carpet, the walls, painted the whole inside. Worked there for around a month. They were so happy with us there. Next one, we just got a call. We had to clean the recycling center out last week. The state came in and it was kind of a spur of the moment, and boom, we got over there 3 days. In fact, the gentleman I brought today was over there for 3 days, scrubbing floors, cleaning toilets, cleaning walls. We got it done. We're still cleaning it every day. Now, a lot of this community service, we kind of go under the radar. We're not in the papers. We're not in the radio shows. It's little things that get done here that we're pretty proud of. And just something like this, I don't think not too many people know about what we do. So this is kind of nice to do here. There's some pictures of the recycling center when we scrub the floors. Took a sweeper in there, tried to clean it as much as we can. Preparation for the spring, this picture here, the gal in the red, she wanted to learn how to change oil. And so we ended up kind of making her change oil on the mowers. She wanted to learn, and she's been coming now for the last couple weeks. So we do all the mower maintenance in the county. So every mower, at the county parks, come to us and we redo the oil changes, we do the blades, we bring them in, we're doing it right now, we clean, maintain. And go ahead with the picnic tables.
So this year we decided we were going to bring in all the picnic tables, and we utilized the recycling center space that was available to us. So we had our youth and people from the community help us tear them down and restain them. And now as the parks are getting nicer, we're going to bring them back out to the parks, and take their tables that are damaged and broken. We service and maintain 40 vehicles for the county. A lot of the Health and Human Service buildings, assessors, Gary Gear's vehicles, maintenance vehicles from around the county, we also do them. We help out when Derek and Jay need help at hazardous waste. We'll send guys to volunteer over there to help them. We do snow maintenance at Boys and Girls Group Home and at the recycling center. We also have a garden behind the community service shop that has been going on for over 20 years. Bring food to the food shelf from there. You want to do the beach?
Sure. This is Green Lake. We took over the beach last summer. That was a challenge, but we took it on, and so far so good. We're going to do it again this year, 7 days a week. Yeah. We have to clean the bathrooms. We redid the shore. I think we kind of took a little more time and tried to make it better than the previous people that took care of it. We do the shores, we drag it. The volleyball courts, we've been dragging the sand and have had a good word said to us about that. I don't think that was done before. Garbages, we've had clients with us. We had a client here all summer. We picked up that couldn't make it, didn't have a ride, so we'd pick her up, and she was there cleaning the bathrooms all summer. So we're going to take that challenge on again this year. Park maintenance, we did staining at Diamond Lake, painting the store at Big Candy. We have a list each year with the parks on what we can do. And we work with the highway department on some projects, and we refinished the deck. We did a fish cleaning station on Games Lake, split rail fence at Diamond Lake. We do all the invasive species installations with the cameras. We're working on that this week coming up. Upcoming park projects, Big Candy West, all the county parks. We got picnic tables, showers to fix, planting trees, staining showers, or staining the shower house and trim. Each year we go through with Larry and we mark off what we can do. Mowing sites for 2022 or boat landings, we do Lake Cary, Diamond, Green Lake, Henderson, Rodvick Park, Swenson, Lake Florida. A lot of county forfeitures. We'll get a call. We got to go out and take care of their lots in the county around here. One in New London, Atwater, Sunburg, Lake Lillian, Raymond, Bloomkist, and Wilmer. We also clean mow in town mowing, boys and girls group home, recycling center, roundabout south of Wilmer, Eagle Lake Ditch, Eagles Landing. So we're pretty busy on the mowers in the summer. And go with the upcoming projects there.
Upcoming events we have to do is, we're gonna do a project with SHIP, and they want us to go out and teach the kids at Dream Academy, and they want to make some planter boxes so they can grow some of their own vegetables for the summer. Install 911 signs. We set up and take down for the county fair, Wilmer Fest, Prairie Pothole Days. We're going to also go in, this is kind of a new thing, and it's going to be probably ongoing with the county jail. So people that are not eligible to come out to do community service, we're going to go in there and we're going to help them sand and paint the first thing is sand and paint their doors and walls. So it's kind of it'll be a big project. And we've had the clients we work, when they leave, we kind of they say bye to us, and then we kind of get what they learned, and they write down things. And before I brought in a gentleman here that's working with us. He's coming from the county jail. He wanted to come here and talk to us. We've had him for a month and a half. I've had him for quite a while, more than that, I think, but he's changing his ways. He's a good kid. He's done a lot of work, and he's been, we're kind of the coaches. This is the player. They listen to us. They do the work. He's cleaned the recycling center. He's picked trash around the landfill. He's stained cabin beds. He's cleaned county cars, mowers, changed oil, hauled picnic tables. I thought I'd better bring him in here and let him have a word.
Sure.
Okay, Jacob? And if you have any questions for him or us, we'll take some here.
Welcome. Morning.
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 Would you state your name?
Yep, I'm Jacob Strike.
Hi, Jim.
I've done a lot. I'm not proud of it, I guess, but I've done a lot of community service with these guys. I think Brian's been in charge for 20 years, and I remember the guy that was in charge before him. I think they're underplaying what a lot of the stuff they do. I mean, people don't realize a lot of it. I think they take a lot of things for granted. I know I have in my life. I mean, some of the county parks, I just went camping out at Games Lake this last year with my camper, and I didn't even know that they had sheds like that. But it's an awesome place to camp, and I mean, the bathrooms, the maintenance, all that stuff. I mean, it's nice facilities, and these guys take care of a lot of that stuff. And just coming in now, I learned of a lot of new projects that they do, and I didn't even realize all of the things that they've done. But even thinking back, it's like I remember we went to deliver tables to County Park 5, and it's Chad was there who runs the park. I'm like, oh, I remember doing the roof on that shed and doing the gutters on the store and all that kind of stuff. And I've done a lot of things with these guys, and I think they're only limited by the number of people that they have, like coming from jail. Or I mean, we used to fill up 2 vans. Now I'm the only one right now. So it's only limited by the number of the help that they have. I mean, the garden's huge. I've spent time in the garden, good stuff coming out of there, all that stuff. I mean, people don't realize all of the things that these guys do, because it's a lot, I think. I mean, because I've done a lot of it, and there's a lot that I don't even know about yet. And it's very interesting to be able to have the opportunity to come here and learn a little bit more about all these programs, and even the ones before that. I really enjoyed this time, and thank you for, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Your enthusiasm is infectious, I think. The guys are smiling beside you, and so it's good to have that sort of result, and thank you for your work. Your
Absolutely.
promotion. Any other comments? or-
I'd just like to make a comment. When I was in that recycling center, I don't know, a few weeks ago or whatever for another meeting, but we toured it and then we saw that camper cabin you guys were building, and it kind of made me want to pick up a hammer and help because it looked like a lot of fun. So.
Tammy Jo?
Yes, if I could add just a little bit to this in terms of the fact that, remember, the biggest part of this is our community work service program is really designed to teach people the job skills, but also give them the opportunity to give back to the community. These are people who have been charged with some type of offense. They might be in jail, or they're a juvenile in the juvenile center, or they're court ordered to pay a fine or do community service for some reason. That opportunity gives them the chance to get back into the community, give back that work, and provide a valuable service to our county in providing this labor in getting these projects completed. So I just wanted to make sure that there's the three parts to it. It's giving them a skill to go forward and be able to change their lives and do cognitive behavioral programming that the staff do with them, and counseling and job skill counseling as they're going forward, and then giving back to the community and then getting jobs done for the community at a low cost.
Thank you. Commissioner Berg.
Just a couple comments. First off, I also like to say thank you. Thank you to all of you. I mean, this goes two ways. Obviously, you're saving the county a lot of money, but doing a lot of very terrific things. It's really so important, isn't it, to work with our hands and to see the results. I feel that myself sometimes. I do projects. But looking at some of the projects, and I heard from Administrator Kleindl about the terrific job on the recycling center and how they got cleaned up, and going, oh, that's on. I saw these pictures and I didn't even recognize it. It looks really good. And all the projects you've taken on has just been fantastic. And I'm quite familiar with the Prairie Lakes Youth Program too, and what was done there. And I've had a tour of all that work, and that looks really great and made such a difference. Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you, guys, for your presentation. With that, unless we have any other things to come, or do you have any updates? I'm sorry.
No, I don't at this time.
Okay.
So just a reminder, Mr. Chair, so this will be the last time we have a special meeting for the Health and Human Service Committee, unless there's a special meeting that they call in the future. But May 3rd, we start our regular county board meetings starting at 9 a.m.
Thanks again, everybody. With that, we will adjourn.